How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my workshop. I'm the Jank Mechanologist, and I just got done with my Saturday social play UPF game. Well, actually, that was a while ago. But yeah, this deck went pretty good. Went 1-1, so lost one pod, won another pod. Fiddle for game. That was pretty funny. I got 2 packs here from the DM Armada patron, so let's open it up and then we'll talk about this Melody the Battle Bard and why it's a pretty fun deck to play and a pretty sneaky strategy to help you win or lose your UPF games. Pack 1. Oh, we got Olympia the Prize Fighter. Not bad. And we also got not much there. Nothing there. One more pack to go. Let's take a look. We got a reel in. How about that? And we also got that's about it. So not bad. We got an expansion in Adult Hero. That's not bad. It's no Deathmatch Arena. Still hoping to get that one day. So let's move on to the deck. Melody Sing Along is a bard hero available from Round the Table, and for the most part a lot of the cards in this deck are from Round the Table. The only difference is I added some interesting tech that you'll see here in a bit. For the equipment, we are running Jinglewood, obviously, and all of the bard equipment: Quickstep, Fiddle D, Nom de Plume, and Heartthrob. I recommend using these just because giving stuff to your opponent really throws them off guard. But, as I've learned, if you have a Kano in the pod, replace it with Arcane Barrier. Just do it. You don't want to be the one who's just sitting there waiting for death. Jinglewood Smash Hit is a bard weapon that you can, at the cost of 0, attack for 2. However, when it hits, it is destroyed, which is pretty good endgame, as when your opponent has to block it, you're pretty much forcing them to block. At the cost of 3, you can choose a hero, and they can gain either a Might, a Vigor, or a Quicken token, and you make a copper off of that. Pretty good way to make allies, really came in handy that second game. Moving on to the deck, we are running 1 copy of Gorganian Tome. Every UPF deck should have this card. My second pod, I got this to pop for 3, so I drew 3 cards off of it. I highly recommend you putting it in your deck. And if you want, be the nice person and play it first. We're playing 2 copies of This Round's on Me. Good card to have. Cost of 1, draw a card, and attacks against you have 1 less damage. Make friends and prevent damage. We're running a full rainbow of Wage Gold. Wage Gold is really this there because it's the only generic wager option in the game. Let's see if we can adjust the lights. That didn't help at all. It is a generic attack, only blocks for 2 sadly, but the swinging for 7, 6, and 5, 7, 6, 5 respectively, is pretty good, and waging is just a fun way to mess with your opponent. Plus, we want the gold for a reason. We're running every song in the game, which isn't too much. So we got our Song of Shining Night, Song of Rose of Matador, Song of Sweet Nectar, Song of Wandering Mind, Song of Jack Be Quick, and Song of Yesteryears. These will get you copper. Play them early on, make allies, make copper. Why? Why, we're going to Final Act, of course. 2 copies of Final Act, a bard attack action that costs 1, but attacks for 1 plus X, where X is the number of cards in your pitch zone times 2. I didn't pull off anything too crazy this time, but I did swing it for 17, and then, 17, and then, 15. I swung it for 15, and then I did swing it for like 5 and 8 a few times towards the end game. How do you swing it more than once, you ask? Why, Encore, of course. Encore is a 1-cost yellow action that returns Final Act from the grave. Really, it's any bard attack, but there's only 1 bard attack in the game. We're running 2 of those. We are running 2 copies of blue, Money Where Your Mouth Is. You could run the yellow or red instead. I'm running the blues because I want the option to pitch it if needed. It just gives your next attack +1, and you can wager a gold. We're going to wager a lot. We want gold. We might not always get it, but that's fine. 1 copy of Cash Out. Just a fun little card to last minute sell all your equipment to gain 4 silver. You could sell Jinglewood too. I don't recommend it. 2 copies of Coax of Commotion. Every UPF deck should have these. Attacks for 4, and if it hits, good stuff happens. Draw a card, quicken token, gain 1 health. Unless your opponent has Reaping Blade. 2 copies of Pick a Card, Any Card Blue. A card I'm not good with, but if we can pull it off, we can gain silver, and silver's just as good. 2 copies of Test of Strength. It's just a block 4 that lets you clash. And to be honest, you're probably going to lose most of your clashes, but that's not a big deal, because if your opponent has gold, we have a way to get it back. 2 copies of Performance Bonus. Red, just the reds. You could run the other colors. I'm running the reds because 0 for 3 go again is a little better than 0 for 1 or 2. Here's why we don't care if our opponent has gold. We're running 2 copies of Pay Up. Pay Up is a generic attack action for the cost of 3. It attacks for 6. However, if your opponent controls a gold, any gold, it gains Overpower. Then, if it hits your opponent, you either take 1 gold from them, or if you can't, or they don't have any gold, or say Victor's Shield, then you'll just deal 1 extra damage to them. So this is a 3 for 7 against an opponent where you can't steal their gold, or a 3 for 6 plus a gold. Add this to your might tokens, and it's a 3 for 8. And last, and I'm not too sure on this card, we're running 2 copies of Starting Stake. At first I ran these cards thinking they were good, but I didn't realize until I started playing, these don't have Go Again. Starting Stake is a yellow pitch, 0 cost action that says, if you control no gold tokens, create a gold token. I could see this being a good chain ender, but playing Melody, you don't really run wide chains unless you can get those quicken tokens. I think if I were to rebuild this deck, these might come out, or at least down to 1. Just because, unless you have a way to go again, or you can play at the end of your turn somehow, you really don't get the opportunity to play it. Maybe I'm playing it wrong, maybe there's a better way to do it. I don't know. And that's the Melody Battle Bard. Here are my fancy promos: Fiddle D, Song of Wandering Mind, and Song of Yesteryears. Sadly, I did not win the playmat or the Cold Foil Hero. Rolled low when I was supposed to roll high. I rolled high when I was supposed to roll low. What are you gonna do? These things happen. But hey, we have an unofficial win in the books because they reported it wrong, and well, I have 1 loss and a draw. It's 1 XP. What are you gonna do? It's not a big deal. I really do wonder how well this deck would do in an actual Blitz game if we were to change some things about it, though. If we were to remove the giving our opponent stuff with just giving them gold, and then swinging our pay-ups at them, as well as our final axe. Hard to say, because there's not other ways to make copper or gold or silver. You can make silver off of the picket cards, but running that in a 1v1 game is... I mean, you can see your opponent's hand. Block 2, though. I really think this really only needs to live in the UPF world. Still, you could make this deck way more degenerate if you wanted to, and that could be fun. But that's the Melody Battle Bard. Fun deck, highly recommend it. Next time, we're going a little crazier. We're still going to wager and clash, but we're going to throw some dice in there. I think next time, we're going to focus on a certain brute who, despite being popular, his original version is still hanging out. I think we're going to look at KO, Berserker Runt. That could be a fun deck. Roll dice, wager, and clash. We'll see. Anyways, I've been the Jank Mechanologist. That's been my Melody the Battle Bard. Unofficially 1-1. I'm gonna go work on something else. And I forgot to say have a good day. So yeah.